Colonel, this is our plan of...
AFN is now 20 years old. Its present commanding officer is Lieutenant Colonel Robert Cranston.
AFN reaches its widely dispersed audience through a network of radio and repeater stations. In West Germany, AFN has 7 studios and 33 transmitters. In France, AFN has 3 studios and 30 transmitters as provided by an agreement between the governments of France and the United States. We at AFN help our servicemen and women to recognize and appreciate their mission here in Europe. We keep them informed about why they are here, about events at home, about what is going on in the world. A lot of information is broadcast every day, but what goes out must, of course, be first received.
AFN, headquartered in Höchst, Germany, and operated by the Public Affairs Division of the United States Army Europe, is a joint military unit composed of Army and Air Force personnel. Program material is provided by the Directorate for Armed Forces, Information and Education, Department of Defense. Enlisted personnel are billeted in part of the charming 14th century castle. In contrast to the Frankfurt setting is the impressive AFN transmitter located at nearby Weiskirchen, emitting 150,000 watts of power, making AFN one of the most powerful radio networks in the world today. AFN has transmitters and stations at other sites too. Orléans, France, and in Poitiers, France, West Berlin, Kaiserslautern, Nuremberg, and Munich, Germany, to name just a few. But the story of AFN is the story of people, like Sergeant Lloyd Eyre, Chief Announcer, Frankfurt, who is making a final check before his 6 a.m. newscast. The final moments before airtime might not seem tense to the casual observer, but to the program director, engineer, and announcer, there is no margin for error or guesswork.
AFN World News in the Hour, compiled from the wires of AP and UPI. The 4 ministers of Britain, France, and West Germany are gathering in Paris for consultations on the latest Soviet note concerning Berlin. While the U.S. State Department has declined official comment on the note itself, observers say that the Secretary of State will join the Allied ministers in the French capital later this week. The U.S. Weather Bureau says Hurricane Edna, moving from the Bahamas toward the southeastern U.S., has definitely swerved out into the Atlantic. While a close watch is being maintained on the big storm, officials say it looks like the danger is past to residents along the Florida and Carolina coast. This summary of world news was compiled and edited in the AFN newsroom from the wires of AP and UPI. Army Sergeant Lloyd Eyre reporting. The next news at 7 hours.